Greetings, conscious entrepreneurs. I'm Sajdah Wendy Muhammad, and I'm so excited today that we're going to be talking to our Mind of an Entrepreneur, Black Muslim Business Entrepreneur of the Week, Black Muslim Business Directory Entrepreneur of the Week, and her name is Qudisah Muhammad. Last week y'all saw us talk to Illy's Sweet Shop. This week we're talking to Sister Qudisah. So come on in. She's going to be in with us in about 5 to 6 minutes. Come on in. This music is courtesy of DJ Jihad. So DJ Jihad and DJ The Beloved are two of my favorite DJs on Twitch. So I like to listen to that while I'm working out and all of that stuff. So come on in. We're going to be talking to Sister Qudisah in a few minutes. She has been doing some amazing work. Shout out to Sister Rahima for putting all of this together. Our Entrepreneurs of the Week and posting and really helping us take our exposure for those in the directory to an all new level. So thank you for that, Sister Rahima. Thank you to Brother Tori and Sister Alika for being a part of this project as well as Sister Qudisah. We're also going to be launching next week a very special promo. Walaikum salam. Oh, you can't be depressed. Okay, somebody just said, sis, I'm depressed. Hope this will help. Inshallah, this will help. But what will really help is if you know and understand that Allah is with you, and depression oftentimes is absent of faith. And sometimes we lose faith. Sometimes we, get sad. We get upset. Sometimes we just give up because things seem so bad. But don't give up. Don't give up. You woke up this morning. You typed that. And if you're going through something clinical, of course you got to seek a clinical professional on that. But I'm going to tell you that Allah loves you. Okay? We'll talk about that a little bit more. But we're doing a special next week on the coin, so you guys will see that. And Allah has been blessing me to get, assalamu alaikum, welcome, greetings, to get some amazing accolades. Yes, accolades. And so I'll tell you all about that. I'm going to add a media page to my website because media and honors, because Allah is blessing me, and I'm so grateful. So grateful. Listen, before Sister Qudisah gets on here, let me tell you all about the Black Muslim Business Directory. You can see Brother Tori just joined. He's running, it's either him or Rahima probably, running the Black Muslim Business Directory IG page. But the idea behind the directory is to promote, first of all, to promote and celebrate Black Muslim businesses. Number 2, to support Black Muslim businesses in terms of pushing more business and helping them to gain more exposure. Number 3 is to encourage more of us to go into business. Number 4 is to get the world to see the beauty of the Black Muslim businesses. Did y'all see us last week at Sean Michelle's homemade ice cream? Brother Yaya made an ice cream that he named in my honor, and look, that ice cream is the business. It tastes so good. It's one of them, I couldn't really say this the other day, but it's a grown and sexy ice cream. It's just smooth. It's got the right flavor mix, all of that. It's amazing, really and truly amazing. Also to get people to understand the quality of business that we do, we are working to push, greetings from Tunisia, yes. We are pushing to move beyond the general status quo of business and status quo of entrepreneurship that you will see happening. And And so what we're looking to do is become what we are calling conscious entrepreneurs, where we're infusing stakeholders and other things that are important to us so that we introduce much needed goods and services into our community. We also, another purpose is to provide the technical and professional support to our Black Muslim businesses. So we offer coaching and training. We're going to be doing things like our Black Muslim business meetup. We'll be putting vendors and suppliers together and introducing you to one another, really helping you take this thing to a whole new level. We want to go beyond our intellectual capacity, right? We want to go into that space that we learned about on the Ramadan prayer line on the day of Eid, when the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan talked about the universe and what's beyond the stars and accessing the creativity that only Allah can give us permission to access. So if you're on this call today, be motivated, be excited. You wouldn't be here if Allah didn't put in your mind something that said, jump on this call today. Sometimes when you have those random thoughts, that's just Allah putting little suggestions into your head. So that's what we do at the Black Muslim Business Directory. We have all kinds. You got to catch that, Brother Lamont. Go to RamadanPrayerLine.com. And you actually can listen to all of the stuff that's on SoundCloud, all of the recordings. But go there and you will hear his powerful message. I've actually listened to that particular message now about 6 times, just really studying it and dissecting it and understanding, what he's telling us to do. So anyway, with that, I'm going to ask Sister Qudisah to request to join in. I got this water bottle from a Black business. She doesn't have any more, so otherwise I would announce it. But I told her I was going to show it today, and so next time, hopefully we'll have a name and you can order these. Okay, there she is. So we're going to stop our music. That music is DJ Jihad. So we're going to stop that because our sister is here. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
Look at that yellow beret.
You're looking good. You're looking good in your brain.
I'm feeling it. So full disclosure, everyone. Assalamu alaikum, sis. I'm sorry. I already talked to you today, so I owe you the greetings on air and live in person.
Wa alaikum salam.
So Sister Qudisah is my new virtual assistant. And she has been doing, if I show y'all my calendar, I'm not even going to show it to y'all because y'all going to.
They're not ready. They're not ready.
They ain't ready for it. This girl is not playing. She fills up my calendar. When I start getting requests and information and people want things, I give it to Sister Qudisah. She handles it. And we're going to talk about her business today, but I have to give that full disclosure because I'm a little biased. I am biased. How are you today, sis?
I'm doing wonderful. Thank you for asking. How are you?
I am fine. How does it feel to be a powerful young entrepreneur right now in this day and time?
When I first began Qudisah, I was really nervous. I didn't have the confidence in myself to know if I could actually be successful and provide value to who I was trying to serve, which is business owners. But now that I have, amassed the clientele and I'm able to serve people like you, serve business owners, it really gives me a sense of purpose and it gives me happiness knowing that I'm able to actually, service you all and take weight off of your shoulders. So that's how it feels being a young Black entrepreneur. It's just pride and happiness knowing that I'm actually doing something that is of value.
One of the key principles of conscious entrepreneurship is being of greater service value than what you receive. And you really demonstrate and model that behavior because you go above and beyond. And that's the way to do it because you want people to know they can't live without you.
Yes, ma'am, exactly. And that's what I strive to do. I always say, under promise and over deliver. That's my motto, Yes,
so tell us about Qudisah. Tell us what it is. And I know I have some more questions. I also want to know how you came up with that. But first tell us what it is.
Yes, ma'am. So Qudisah is a virtual assistant and social media management agency. And what we do is we assist business owners, small business owners, in taking tasks off of their plates. So as we know, business ownership, entrepreneurship, it comes with stress, being overwhelmed, a lot of tasks on your plate that you sometimes don't know how you're going to get to. So that's why you will hire QAssist. That's why you will hire a virtual assistant, to have someone come in and remove those tasks from your plate and allow you to do things like, elevating your business, or focusing on yourself, focusing on self-care, or other projects that you're interested in. And that's what QAssist does.
That is amazing. How'd you come up with that, sis?
So I actually started off as a teacher's assistant. When I finished with high school, I went to my old teachers, excuse me, and was like, I would love to assist you. I would love to help you. And it was super low key. It was nothing, no major business, nothing like that. And from there, I realized that I really found joy in doing that. Not just in the work, but actually, having the teachers text me and say, you helped so much. I was able to relax this week, or I was able to focus on other things. You really helped. And when I recognized that that's what really made me happy, I said, okay, I can take this to the next level. And so around February, I remember I made my first post on my page on February 1st. So that's where
This year, 2021?
Yes, ma'am.
So you're a brand new business and you're doing this well?
Yes,
praise be to Allah.
Yes, ma'am. So I say February 1st is like my official date of when I first started it. And ever since then, I just been really going full force with it.
That is amazing. Listen, when I first met you, you reminded me of myself.
Wow. Oh my God. Wow.
Yep. When I didn't even have to talk to you, but you said a few words. And the reason why you reminded me of myself, because when I was, and I don't know, hope you don't mind, but can you tell everybody how old you are?
Okay, I'm 17.
Okay, so she's only 17. Y'all see this beast of an entrepreneur we got, and she's only 17. She's only been in business just a couple of months. And if we keep working and developing our young entrepreneurs like this, we will see that the sky's the limits for what we can do and what we can introduce into our communities, the problems we can solve, right? Because most businesses just finding a problem and solving it. And if you're starting at this age, and back to my story, the reason why I said that you reminded me of myself when I first met you, I see my mom on here, and she will tell you that I was industrious like you at your age, even younger, being able to be organized. I was always very disciplined, kind of just studying on my own, doing my own thing, reading. Nobody had to, put my feet to the fire and tell me and motivate me. And so I saw that in you. And I wasn't, myself and Sister Aletha's on here, we wasn't that much older than you when we started working for the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan in the National Center and in the National House. And he didn't discriminate and say the little sisters. He treated us just like the grown people, and taught us and trained us. And just like he would say to the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, sir, you showed me how to play the violin. And the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, no, son, I didn't teach you how to play no violin. I would say he taught us business. And he may say that he didn't, but he taught us business because he taught us the mindset of service, the mindset of being of greater value in service than what it is that you receive, that level of perfection, not being judgmental. You see, but you don't see, and you hear, but you don't hear. And Sister Letha just said, that's right. He gave us responsibility and trusted us to do it and held us accountable. So I just said this past weekend, I think I said it to somebody, that I'm just so grateful that Allah trusts me. And so you are in a position, and I just want to say to you, you put your nose to the grind and you stay focused, because the principles that I see you exude, I've been working with you now a couple of weeks. I don't say anything, but I don't miss nothing. Wow. But the principles that I see that you embody are those that, see, my mom said we both even favor. You reminded me. I saw you. I was like,
the yellow berets tell it all.
It's the yellow berets. So that's our new signature. Listen, the principles you embody,
Yes,
the
ma'am.
way you serve, your level of accuracy, your level of intellect, your assertiveness, but then also your humility, your focus, your ability to play chess, not checkers.
Wow.
I'm going to
Yes,
say that again. Keep developing your ability to play chess, not checkers, because you don't think like a checkers player.
yes,
I
ma'am.
see your mind working. You think like a chess player. And that's what we want to continue to develop. That's what we want to continue to, flow through this relationship.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
inshallah, this is a long-term relationship. I
Yes.
only had Sister Kenya for 7 months, and she done went off and started a business
I
with her
know,
husband.
yes. And she's doing awesome. Yes, ma'am.
So that's the beauty of it. I want you all to do well, but then when y'all leave me, I'm like, no, don't leave me.
No, we're gonna be together for a while.
So I might lock you down, Qudisah. I didn't really have a choice with Sister Kenya because she got a whole husband and all that, and I'm like,
Yeah,
all
I
right,
guess I understand.
okay.
I guess.
But yeah, with you, I'm gonna be like a lock and chain. Like, nope, who are you? What do you have to say?
Yes, ma'am.
But the goal for me, and I want to thank you for allowing me to be able to give back, because one of the things that I talk about all the time is being able to give to someone that boost, that acceleration. It's hard to do unless you embody certain principles. But I know I was once a young Muslim entrepreneur. And yeah, the discrimination don't stop, but inshallah, we can put you in safe spaces.
Yes, ma'am.
So that as you're working, you don't have to focus on defending yourself and working. You can just focus on working and creating. Of course, you'll have to do a little defense, but you got a team of people that got your back that don't play.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. And I just want to say thank you to you because, like you said, it's only been a few weeks, but like you've been paying attention to me, I've been paying attention to you, just hanging off of every word, studying how you work, how you maneuver. And so I've learned so much just in the short time that we've been working together. So thank you.
Alhamdulillah. We got some big projects, and
yes,
you are helping me put together the whole Sajdah Enterprises, which we are excited about. Of course, we got Sajdah House and all this stuff, but this call is about you. And I want you to give you an opportunity. If you have any questions you want to ask me, any challenges that you see yourself facing,
yes,
because the one thing I don't want you to do, and I apologize because I always ask you how old you are, not to make you different, but just so that, because I'm so impressed with that. But in the same vein, I apologize to you because I never want you to feel like I'm this 17-year-old in business. No, you're a real entrepreneur.
Yes, ma'am.
You have a real whole business. And I don't want you ever feeling like a little girl, or you all heard me say this, even with our Sajdah House Table Talks youth team. I'm not using the word little.
Right. Yes, ma'am.
Even though y'all my babies, I'm not like, these is my babies. Sometimes y'all do stuff and I'll be wanting to go, oh, look at the babies. But I can't because and the minister didn't do that to us.
Right. Exactly.
We get coddled more now by him as adults than we did back then. Alita's on here. She'll bear me witness. We get more of the, we get treated like that now, but back then it was like, no, you a real business, and he gave us responsibility, and he trusted us, and he trained us, and he gave us the mindset that we needed to go out into the business world and out into the world and really be ambassadors for righteousness in business.
Yes, ma'am.
And that's what so much of this is about, establishing, trade and commerce and showing people a new way of doing business and helping people to open up, to move beyond stereotypes and move beyond what somebody told you. There's beauty and there's greatness on the other side of all those negative things.
Absolutely.
And I'm just so happy to be with people like yourself, Sister Rahima, Sister Ilyasa. We had such a great time. And so I'm just grateful to be able to be an example. So I want to open myself up if you want to ask me any questions. We're going to be on here long. We got about another 15, 20 minutes, but feel free to ask me any questions.
Yes, ma'am. So I think the first question that I would ask is, how do you balance it all? Because, sister, I see your calendar, and I am, as my business scales, of course, my calendar becomes more full, and I still want to make sure that I'm maintaining that balance between work, growth, but still personal development and personal joy. My business gives me joy, but after a while, it's like you need those discrepancies and that balance.
Well, as you can see, I project manage myself, sis. I schedule it out. You know how people say when they're in a relationship, they schedule date night or whatever. I schedule my workout. I schedule my time for my hair. I schedule a time to go get a facial. I schedule those things. I schedule my life into and weave it together. I don't think of it as in the concept of balance, though.
Okay.
Because balance means to me that I'm trying, there's a struggle there to maintain the balance. It's just a matter of weaving it in and making my life a part of what I do. That's the whole idea of becoming authentic and discovering your authenticity and monetizing your authenticity, because this is you and this is who you are. Now, sometimes I have to manage my energy levels. So there are times when I say, you know what, I need a mindless moment, because my mind is always going. I'm always looking for Allah and everything. I'm always listening for Allah. I'm always asking Allah a question and waiting for an answer. So that's always happening. Sometimes I just say, you know what, I need a moment where I'm doing nothing. That's when I meditate. That's when I may say I may go for a walk. That's when I might call a family or a friend and just crack up and laugh.
Right. Yes. Sir.
Right. But also that's when there's time for, relationships and friendships. You schedule that in.
Yes.
And you sometimes you just need to adjust your energy. Sometimes there are certain people in my life that I need their energy. And I know that maybe they know I'm busy, and so they may not call me, and I'm like, hello,
where you been?
Where you been? I need you at this moment. So that's something that's important as well. So scheduling in those times. But the idea is knowing how to manage your energy, knowing what will feed you, knowing what you need at that time.
Yes, ma'am.
So if you know, hey, I need to talk to my mama right now, because that gives me a certain energy, then, you reach out and you try to schedule that in. So think of it more, the whole work-life balance concept is it's a capitalism concept. It's a product of predatory capitalism. What you want to say is you are functioning as a God. +1312. And in functioning as a God, you want to be able to manage your energy as a God.
Right.
You want to be able to manage the energy you bring to any space or any room or any conversation. Right. So you have to ask yourself, what do I have to do to bring the right energy to this conversation or to this meeting, right? Or to this project. It might mean you need to meditate. You may need to meditate in a certain way. Maybe you need to do a few extra prayers. Maybe you need to say a certain prayer.
Yes, ma'am.
Maybe there's certain songs. It just depends on what you're doing. Then you also want to say, I also want to manage the energy that's coming into me. So that's when you start to determine, like, what is the access?
Right.
Who has access to you? You help me with that, because I can't have access to everybody because there's so many people calling and emailing. So, but I take responsibility for the energy even that I may have when I come and speak to you. In addition to that, you want to make sure that you're focusing on and paying attention to what's coming into you from Allah. What messages are you being sent?
Yes,
and can you hear that? And that also requires some time for you to quiet your mind. So don't think of yourself as a young person in business, trying to find work-life balance. That's a very predatory capitalist way of looking at things. Because one, it's saying I'm different because I'm young. For two, it's saying I can't handle all this, so I got to pull back on this or that. There's a lot of negatives in there.
Right. Yes.
You say, I'm Sister Qudisah. And what does Qudisah mean?
Sacred.
All right. I'm sacred. I'm a sacred goddess.
Wow. Yes.
And what I'm doing is I'm creating and I'm managing all of what Allah has given me and all of what I've showed up on the planet to do.
Right. Yes, ma'am.
And I'm just connecting and flowing and managing and controlling. That's what you're doing.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So we're not necessarily rejecting anything. We may just be focusing more on one thing at different spaces and time. Does that make sense?
Yes, that makes perfect sense. And
Okay.
that's why I love you. You're so intentional. You're so intentional in everything. Yes, ma'am. So also, how do you develop the confidence to do certain launches? Like, you have so many hats and businesses that you wear, and you know, I may have an idea, but I'm like, oh, I'm afraid, you know, what if this doesn't go well? What if it doesn't happen in the way that I want to? So how do you develop that confidence to just say, okay, you know what, I'm gonna do it?
You know, sis, I've been where you are, where I've been nervous or afraid, and it took me a while through studying, using the study guides to study, studying emotional intelligence, understanding how to read my emotions and what the emotions were telling me about myself. And once I got to the point where I began to respect myself more and work to see myself, like we talked about last week, the way Allah sees me.
Right. Yes, ma'am.
Then when I get those desires, I know that they are not always of myself.
Yes, ma'am.
Right? So when I get a desire to do a project, or when I get a desire to do something, a lot of times that's Allah speaking that desire. That's something that He chose to communicate or do through me at that moment.
Yes.
And so I try to respect my ideas and my concepts in that way. And if I don't do anything but just write them down, and sometimes things will flow to me so, what's the word I want to say? So heavily, so much, that I will write them down. And then later when I review things, I look to see what came back in my mind as a theme. You know, what was going on? What was happening? I'll give you, and you probably have heard me talk about this before. Last week when I was at Sajdah House, the former home of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, I sent a question out, and I said, "Dear Holy Apostle, what kind of flowers would you like?"
Wow.
Just like that. You know, I'd been in a few other conversations with other people, and we were reviewing some things, and I just said, what kind of flowers you want over here? What kind of garden do you want? And I had in my mind that the garden would be so attractive that people would come from around the world just to see the garden.
Yes.
Because people do that, right? They go to the botanical gardens, they go to these different places, but I didn't know what that would look like.
Yes.
Right? And so I put the question out there, and I didn't get anything back. So I said, all right, you know, it'll come. And then later I was meditating to some, I love Sufi flute music. I used to play the flute, and so I just love how it sounds. And so I meditate to that. So when I had gotten home after so many meetings that day, you probably remember, I just needed to shift. And so I said, you know what, let me do my prayers, and then let me just do quick 10-15-minute meditation just to reset my nervous system, reset everything so I can move into this next part of my day and be intentional as I'm moving to my next task or next thing that I'm doing. And what came to me in that moment was, I want yellow flowers.
Wow.
Yellow represents love and joy and success and friendship. And then I got ready to have a thought. And what came to me was money, no, friendships in all walks of
Oh,
life.
right. Wow.
And so then I said, okay, so I wrote that down and I said, okay, so it's Elijah's friendship garden with a sea of yellow, variety of different flowers that represent friendship. And I thought about the cracked Adam statue with the friends of the diaspora and the, I thought about the companions of the prophet, peace be upon him. And I thought about the companions of the minister and his family and people who help him, do what he did. And I said, you know what, let's dedicate the garden to this. And then what reminded me that I was on the right track is that my sponsor for the garden is my friend, Sister Sajdah Kareem.
Oh, wow. Wow. Yes.
And
ma'am.
so I contacted the brother who's helping me, and we found these beautiful, like weeping willow trees, but they're yellow. And I said, will they grow there? And he says, yes. So we just talked about what are some of the different types of flowers. We're talking yellow roses and marigolds and peonies and just this sea of yellow that you can't take your eyes from, so that as you walk into the garden, your vibration is automatically raised.
Wow, that's beautiful.
So what I'm saying is that you use those ideas and then just expound upon them. Oh, Allah, okay, I just had the idea about a special garden. What are you saying to me? What would you like? You know what I mean?
Yes, ma'am.
If nothing else, it's fun. It's a way to reconnect. It's a way to connect.
Exactly.
And it's a way to express your love.
Yes, ma'am.
Because the love, something that Mother Tynetta taught me, that the love is the conduit. That's how Allah travels.
Yes,
it's through that space of love. So I don't want you to look at yourself based on your age, based on your size, how tall or short or whatever you are. Look at yourself based on your connection with Allah.
Yes, ma'am. That's critical.
That's critical. Okay. And how you can be of service to your community and how you can continue to uplift his helpers' names as you're out here doing what you do, because we're the walking examples.
Yes, ma'am.
We can talk all day, but it's questionable whether or not words teach, right? So, but when someone looks at you and then they say, oh, she's 17, she's in business, and oh my gosh, she's doing this or that. Now they can say, what kind of education does she have?
Right.
Who does she study? Where does she come from?
Muhammad,
Yes, yes, yes. So you hear me talk about on the show, you want to find a way to go beyond your intellectual capacity.
Yes, ma'am.
And you want to go, like the minister said on the Ramadan prayer line, behind the stars, on the other side, into triple darkness, where the creation, where the root of creation is.
Yes, ma'am.
But starting first, going beyond our intellectual capacity, because if we just think about what we know, that's not going to be enough.
Right. You're not going to get tapped into your potential then.
What challenges do you see yourself working through right now in your business that I can help you with in the last couple of minutes?
Right now, I am more so struggling with, I'm able to get my business out there, platforms like this, I'm able to do that. But when it comes to actually, securing clients, I do pretty well, but I would like to see an increase in that.
No, you do very well with that. I just want you to know, because you secured me before we got off the phone, and that was just the interview process. I had some other people to interview.
Wow.
You was like, okay, and what's your email address where I can send your contract? And okay, so you want to get more clients because of what?
Money.
Because you want more money?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So so sometimes getting more money, the answer to that is not always getting more clients.
Yes, ma'am.
Right?
Right.
You're working with a person like myself. I have a lot of endeavors that I told you you can get. I'm not trying to discourage you from getting other clients, but I want you to open up your mind because,
Yes, ma'am.
again, part of predatory capitalism says to us, in order to have more, we need more people, we need more this and that. But you don't always need large numbers. You just need to capitalize on the blessings that are already in front of you.
Yes, ma'am.
So we talked about commission on certain things. So be creative. That probably is going to get you more money than just saying, I need more clients.
Right. Yes.
Because you don't want more clients just for the sake of having more clients or for the sake of dominating more people or for the sake of just having more people, right? That's that's a little predatory. What you want is you want to serve more. You want to put more out so that you get more in return. You want to open up the flow.
Yes, ma'am.
Of abundance through the, your love for Allah and your love for your clients and being of service so that you can have more money to do the things that you want to do.
Right, absolutely.
To make the choices in life, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
I was just going to say the biggest thing is the reason why at first I was saying, Allah, I want more clients. Please, Allah, bless me. And then when it wasn't happening, I said, okay, Allah, I understand. Qudisah, you're very overwhelmed right now. You can barely handle what you have so far. So why are you trying to reach out and get more? So my biggest thing is, of course, I want to expand my business and grow and gain more clients, but I also want to make sure that I'm able to service them with, the QAssist way, which is efficiency, which is, going above and beyond. And if I take on more than I'm able to handle, then I won't be able to give that out. So I think
the root in having more, you know what that is, right?
No, ma'am.
Self-improvement.
Right. Oh, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
So you have to be what it is that you want, or you have to be that right fertile ground to be able to handle more. So work what you got.
Yes, ma'am.
Work what you got. Comb yourself. You have those private moments in yourself where maybe sometimes your thoughts could be tweaked.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Where maybe sometimes you can do some things better.
Yes, ma'am.
To another level. And so start there.
Yes, ma'am.
Because now then Allah can trust you more.
Wow.
Right? We can't ask him for stuff and we ain't working on ourselves. How can he trust us with more?
Right. Absolutely.
So trust in him by working on yourself. He's not going to tell you self-improvement is the basis of community development if it's not.
Right.
Right?
Yes, ma'am.
And then let's work what you got.
Yes, ma'am.
Work what you got. I'm one of your clients. And within me, there are other opportunities that you can have access to. We talked about just you selling the coins, you get a commission.
Right. Yes, ma'am.
So that's what my businesses are all about is accessing rewards and sharing it with you all.
Yes, ma'am. Praise be to Allah. Thank you.
And so that's the goal.
Yes.
How you feeling?
I feel so elevated. I feel so inspired. This, a lot of people think that business is, business strategy. And of course it is, but a lot of it is having strong roots in spirituality, strong roots in your faith. It's that self-improvement that you spoke about. So I really do value conversations like this where it's not just, increase your social media presence, do this, do that, where it's giving me the tools to actually cultivate myself, spiritually and, in my faith. And that's so critical.
Yes, ma'am. And I'll say this one last thing to you. And that is that when we are in business and we don't work to elevate ourselves and really focus on self-improvement.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, let me say it this way. When we do that, we open ourselves up to more creativity and access to more of Allah's tools that he can just give to us and help us with.
Yes, ma'am.
And we begin to approach the limitlessness, that's not a word, let me say it, the infinity, you know, of Allah. But when we don't do that, when we don't focus on self-improvement and we stay limited, then our only other choice is to go and be predators and to dominate. Next thing you know, we're predatory capitalists, right. But we don't know we are. Mm-hmm. Right? We think we're righteous. We think we're doing the right thing, but we're really running around trying to dominate somebody and be predators and just get more people on our side or get things for nothing. Right. You know, I see people who are really staunch Christians and staunch Muslims, but really they just want something for nothing. Mm. And it's because they haven't gotten themselves to the point where you already are, where they could be of service. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. And I think that's the biggest thing, is just continuing being of service. The money will come, inshallah, but it's when you actually provide a service to someone and stay dedicated to that where I think you find real success. Stay dedicated to Allah. Yes, ma'am. And then make your word bond. Absolutely. Yes, ma'am. So making your word bond through your work principles. Yes, ma'am. Right? Yes, ma'am. So I tell you, I say, Qudisah, your number one job is to help me make my word bond. Right, right. So that I'm not in a meeting. I'm not going to be the person where ideas go to die. So if I'm in a meeting and I say, okay, we're going to call this person or I'm going to do such and such, you help me make sure my word is bond. Yes, ma'am. Which is, you know, which is important to me. Somebody said, yes, what is word bond or word is bond? Explain that to him, Sister Qudisah. So you're making your word bond just means when you say you're going to do something, you do it. And what you say you're going to do it and how exactly you say you're going to do it. And if in business you have obstacles, what do? You communicate those obstacles. Yes, ma'am. Right? I'm the kind of person, I'll risk getting a speeding ticket to get somewhere on time. Mm-hmm. Now, if I am going to be late, then I'll call and say, hey, it's a train or it's whatever. Right. But the idea is just wanting to be that reliable person and to be an asset. Right. And not a liability. Right. And if we begin to do business like this, we begin to build business like this, when we separate, we're not recreating the same thing that we're running away from. Right. It's one thing to separate, but if we take these old minds with us, all we're going to get is the same thing. Right. Because there's certain dependencies and interrelationships that happen that are a requirement in order for you to win as a predatory capitalist. And it is those things that have been so harmful to us as a people and that have been used to enslave and torture us and kidnap us and keep ourselves down and keep their foot on our neck since we've been here, you know, in this country. And those techniques are used all over the world. Yes. But when we come with that refreshing new way of doing business. Right. So, and that don't mean that we're punks. That don't mean you can steal from us. That don't mean you can get away with something. Exactly. That don't mean that. It just means that you're going to be met with fairness, with kindness, with goods and services that are not harmful to you, right, to the best of our ability, and with something that's going to give you hope. Right. And excitement. So there was a brother when we first started on that said that he jumped on here because he was depressed. And he hoped that listening to this helped. And I don't know, brother, you know, what you're depressed about. And, you know, I pray that you can find and seek refuge in Allah, who has you here for a reason. He's guiding you, telling you what to do, where to go for a reason. If you do need clinical help, you know, find somebody that can help you clinically. I don't know what city you're from to be able to list a place where you can go, but I pray that Allah blesses you and that he covers you with his spirit, that he covers you with his desires, that he covers you with the understanding that you showed up on the planet for a reason. Absolutely. And sometimes that little depression that we get, and sometimes a big depression, sometimes we get that because we're just off. You know we're supposed to be doing something else and we're not doing it. And so sometimes I know for myself to climb our way out of that depression, oh, that's you, original B-Man too, still trying to find your purpose, Yeah, keep striving and keep asking Allah, why am I here? What do you want from me? And keep praying, asking Allah, and just continue to develop that intimate relationship with Allah, and He'll give it to you.
Yes, ma'am.
He'll give it to you.
I mean.
All right, sis. So good luck with your business. Tell people, give them your website, tell them where they can find you, and if they're looking for a virtual assistant. And you do virtual assistants on a long-term basis, but you also help with like small projects as well, right?
Yes, ma'am. So I am also a freelancer. So if you need a logo made, any graphics, any flyers, PowerPoints, I can create those for you. In order to reach me, you can go to Qudisah online. That is my Instagram page, and that's where you can find all information about me. There's a contact button, and in my bio is a link that you can go to book your consultation with Qudisah.
Alhamdulillah. Also, dear brother, Sister Khalide just said, productivity helps with depression, and I would agree with that 100%. Movement, productivity, getting rid of stagnant energy. It's just like, you know, you got stagnant water. After a while, it's going to smell stale. But movement, productivity also helps with depression as well. So with that, you all, we're going to post this, and inshallah, you all will be able to listen. Stay tuned. Come back next week for our Mind of an Entrepreneur Black Muslim Business Directory Entrepreneur of the Week. Thank you again, Sister Qudisah. Thank you to Sister Rahima, who I think she's on here somewhere. Thank you, sis, for putting this together. Thank you to Brother Tori and to Sister Aletha. Thank you, everyone who's watching. And look, go buy Sean Michelle's and get y'all some Sajdah ice cream.
I'm ready to order mine.
We're coming to Houston. We're going to bring it to Houston.
I cannot wait. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Assalamu alaikum. Thank you.
Wa alaikum salam. Thank you.